The 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games are on NBC6. Live, the news on NBC6 starts now.
They look like they just beat them up really bad.
New body cam video giving us a look at the horror first responders encountered when they got to the scene of a crime that shocked the community. Police say that a 12-year-old boy had been abducted, raped, and shot. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jawan Strader. The case happened back in March, and tonight, only on 6, reporter Julie Leonardi has new video and pictures that paint a grim image, and we want to warn you tonight that some of these images may be disturbing.
The details on this situation are disturbing as it is, but now the state attorney's office has released more images and video from police when they first responded to that 911 call that morning. Body cam video released from the early morning hours of a disturbing 911 call.
Where's she shot at?
First responders arrived just after 2:30 in the morning to Northwest 43rd Terrace and 30th Avenue after witnesses called to report an injured young boy who stumbled to a convenience store thanks to a Good Samaritan who guided him there.
Fire rescue's coming, okay?
In the body cam video, you can hear officers trying to assess the 12-year-old's injuries. Still unclear what could have happened to the young boy. One officer is heard saying the boy wasn't shot, just badly beat up.
Yeah, facial injuries. I don't see any other injuries.
We learned later from police the boy was not only shot, but taken, raped, and badly beaten. Police arrested 43-year-old Alex Santiesteban for the brutal crime days later. Officers appeared to have a brief description of the suspect that morning. You can hear it on the radio call.
White Hispanic male, long curly hair, about 30 to 40 years of age.
Witnesses are heard saying they saw the boy struggle.
They walked and laid down. Hey, I need help.
Photos of Santiesteban from the hospital show him with a bloody hand. NBC6 obtained exclusive video the Monday he was arrested. Investigators believe the victim had left his home to meet friends and was taken by the suspect and sexually assaulted in the back seat of his car. Santiesteban is facing a slew of charges, including attempted murder. Meantime, that 12-year-old boy, he has a long road to recovery ahead of him, both physically and emotionally. Reporting from Durrell, Julie Leonardi, NBC6 News.
Friday night dinner scare. A car slams into a local restaurant and a few people are rushed to the hospital. Let's get right out to NBC6 reporter Ryan Nelson, who's on the scene in Miami.
A car slamming into the Don Cameron Seafood Grill and Market as people inside ate dinner. In fact, you can see the car took out this stop sign, and now crews are working late to clean up the glass, twisted metal, and splintered wood left behind from the crash. Witnesses say the driver of this car lost control, sped through a vacant parking lot, sideswiped a parked car, then slammed into the restaurant. Miami Fire Rescue responded around 6:30 to find Good Samaritans helping injured customers. Several people were treated, including 2 children who were inside the car. The driver and 3 women were taken to the hospital. Miami Fire says all injured people are expected to survive. Miami police are investigating this crash and its circumstances. As soon as we have additional information, we'll be sure to update you on air, online, and on the NBC6 mobile app. Ryan Nelson, NBC6 News.
All right, well, after taking 2020 off due to the pandemic, the Rolling Loud Festival is now underway in South Florida. Tens of thousands are expected to attend the 3-day hip-hop festival at Hard Rock Stadium. There was a minor hiccup one day before the event when a stage partially collapsed. People are traveling from across the country to attend the event. NBC6 spoke to some festival goers who say that they're having a good time for the most part.
We're from Michigan, so we drove 20 hours here just to come see this.
From Michigan?
Yes, but her phone got stolen out of her pocket, so we're leaving early.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, this year's festival comes at a time when cases of the Delta variant are on the rise, especially among young people. And you don't have to be vaccinated in order to attend Rolling Loud, but those who do show up have an opportunity this weekend to get vaccinated. A pop-up vaccination site opened today at Hard Rock Stadium in coordination with the Florida Health Department. Both Pfizer and the Johnson & Johnson vaccines are being offered to attendees, and no appointment is required. The site will reopen Saturday and Sunday from 4 in the afternoon to midnight. Well, some new numbers giving us a better idea of COVID infections in Florida. The state reporting more than 73,000 new cases. Now, that's a jump of more than 25,000 cases from last week. The spike has brought the positivity rate to 11% this week, before to 15%. 78 new deaths were reported this week. Now, the soaring COVID infections a major concern. NBC6 reporter Marissa Bagg has more.
COVID cases in Florida are accelerating at a rate we haven't seen in months. It has infectious disease experts on high alert.
Our rates are much higher than they were in the spring. They've increased about 3 times, and they're much higher here in Florida than they are in the rest of the country.
Karen Michaels battled COVID for 6 days in a South Florida hospital back in March. She is frightened about getting the virus again.
It's scary. It's an extremely isolating, horrible feeling.
But she says she's not surprised cases are rising. She thinks people let their guard down.
If you're out and about, you can see that as far as most people are concerned, things are back to normal. So the distancing isn't happening.
More than 90% of those hospitalized with COVID in Miami-Dade and Broward were not vaccinated. Doctors at Broward Health Medical Center say a handful of patients on the COVID floor did get the shot, and they're typically in their 60s and 70s with previous medical conditions. But the dozens of others being treated who are much younger would be better off now had they received the vaccine.
It's a little disheartening that after 8 months of preaching to people to get the vaccine and that this is the single best measure you have to avoid being in the hospital, that still there are some people that have not heard that message.
And we may have to go back to doing things many thought were behind us.
People in Florida right now should be wearing masks when they're indoors, and especially in crowded situations. This is absolutely essential for people who are unvaccinated. I would even say it's essential for vaccinated people as well.
Miami-Dade County now extending the hours at several COVID vaccination and COVID testing sites after demand for both of those things has gone up in recent weeks. For more information on where those sites are and what the hours are, you can head to NBC6.com. Reporting in Dania Beach, Marissa Bagg, NBC6 News.
Well, the state of Florida is handed a victory in court when a U.S. appeals court blocked federal COVID restrictions that cut back on the number of cruise ships operating from Florida ports. Under CDC rules, ships were allowed to board passengers if cruise lines met COVID requirements, such as setting up testing labs and running test voyages. The state of Florida argued that the CDC exceeded its authority, costing the state tens of thousands or millions of dollars in revenue. Today's decision means a lower court's injunction now takes precedent, and the CDC rules are back to being voluntary. All right, well, a live look from Tokyo. Such a beautiful sight. You can see the time difference because it's bright and early there. The Olympics officially got underway today with the opening ceremony. And a local gym erupting into applause and noise for Eddie Alvarez. A Cuban-American and Miami native led the U.S. in the Parade of Nations. The Tokyo Olympics already proving to be an experience that Eddie will never forget. NBC6 reporter Amanda Placencia is in Tokyo with the latest.
Despite not having any fans, athletes from across the globe marched in, proudly waving their flag for the opening ceremony in Tokyo. The theme of the Games is united by emotion, and after the pandemic, that sentiment definitely rings true. The opening ceremony walking a fine line of celebrating the athletes' achievements while also starting off with a sobering moment of silence in recognition of all those we have lost due to the pandemic. The usual hype surrounding the Olympics was toned down without fans in Tokyo's Olympic Stadium. Eddie was mic'd up and gave a personal shout out to his parents watching back home and the entire 305.
I didn't think I was going to cry. I thought I was going to hold on to it, like I was going to be strong, but it hit me. It hit me hard.
His parents beaming with pride back home in Miami.
I wish him the very best, and that I know with God, anything is possible. And let's go Team USA.
As the host country, Japan then closed out the ceremony to mark the official start of the Tokyo 2020 Games. Now that the opening ceremony is complete, the games officially begin. We'll be watching our girl Ashley Johnson compete in USA water polo in their first match tomorrow. Reporting in Tokyo, Amanda Placencia, NBC6 News.
Cries of freedom for Cuba are heard once again today on the streets of South Florida. Dozens of protesters marched today along Southwest 8th Street in Little Havana, walking more than a mile and a half to Cuban Memorial Boulevard Park. They wanted to show solidarity with the people of Cuba following a recent historic protest on the island. And today's show of solidarity happened not just on land, but also at sea. A flotilla of 5 boats left Bayside in Miami this morning and headed towards Cuba. The plan was to get within 15 miles of Cuba and set off flares and fireworks in international waters as a sign that the Cuban exile community stands with the people of Cuba. Cuba had urged the U.S. government to halt the boats to avoid any incidents. The U.S. Coast Guard is escorting and monitoring the flotilla. Well, more than 4 weeks after the condo collapse in Surfside, a pair of urban search and rescue teams based here in South Florida headed home. Florida Task Force 1 and Florida Task Force 2 left the collapse site today. Now that all the debris has been removed and relocated. Before leaving the teams, they stopped at the nearby memorial wall to pay their respects to those who died. The search and rescue teams had been away from their families all these weeks, working 24 hours a day in an effort to rescue and recover victims. Now they go home knowing that they did all they could to bring closure to the families of the victims.
Providing closure to families was the ultimate test of everybody here, and I think we did our best to do that, and to make sure that everybody knew that we were in it 1,000%.
97 victims have been identified, but it's believed that one more victim remains unaccounted for. And Saturday marks 1 month since the Surfside condo collapse. And NBC6 takes a closer look at the investigation into the tragedy and what can be done to prevent it from happening again in our special Surfside After the Collapse. That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. right here on NBC6.
Marijuana farming. It's a booming business, but not everyone can participate. A look at the racial roadblocks of growing pot in America. Then, the hottest housing market in years. Should you buy now or wait until things cool off?
Well, along an old front, we're getting low pressure forming off the coast of Florida. It could head towards the state and make for a stormy weekend. I've got the forecast next.
Plus, fat and lazy? A prominent billboard in Times Square is outraging many. But the woman behind the ad isn't backing down. More still to come.
We've got a terrific team of meteorologists. As a matter of fact, all 5 of us are certified broadcast meteorologists.
We each come from different backgrounds, we each have different experience, but we all complement each other.
All 5 of us have the same goal, which is to support each other and keep South Florida safe.
We all have a viewpoint that keeps our viewers in mind, to serve them, and that's what benefits all of our digital users, all of our users on the air.
We know they need the information, and when it's critical, you need a team that can stay calm, not hype the storm, and just give you the facts as we know it.
You can depend on us on the really serious, threatening weather days, but you can also depend on us for the forecast when you need to know whether it's going to rain or not.
Seeing more wet weather unfolding.
It's great to have that designation as the most accurate forecast in South Florida.
Welcome back. Well, it's a billion-dollar industry that's hard to break into in Florida. Medical marijuana. And right now, less than 24 people in the state hold licenses to grow and sell the plant. An industry one nonprofit says is even harder to break into for black farmers. NBC6's Kim Nguyen has more.
For the past 7 years, Samuel Stevens has grown hay on this 100-acre farm in Suwannee County. A large chunk of land he at first hoped would help him get into the medical marijuana business.
When the license first came out, I was interested, and I'm still interested.
But Stevens says he quickly learned it wouldn't be easy.
You can't even get past the first step.
Right now, there are only 22 licensed medical marijuana operators in Florida. None of them are black.
The industry is growing, but it's on a small group of people that's growing with it.
We do see a largely white, male-dominated industry.
in which, minorities struggle to really gain their footing.
Eric Range is chairman of the nonprofit Minorities for Medical Marijuana.
We work to help to shape the laws so that minorities can participate in the industry.
Range says black farmers face many obstacles trying to break into the industry, from legal hurdles to lack of resources. For one, the state announced that it would set aside one license for a black farmer, part of a 1999 class action lawsuit against the USDA. The suit alleged racial discrimination against black farmers in getting farm loans and assistance from 1981 to 1996. But many of the farmers who qualify are either deceased or are in their 80s, meaning young farmers like Stevens don't qualify.
How can you get over that hurdle unless they change the rules?
Range says another obstacle is cost. The application process alone costs more than $60,000. Then in Florida, operators handle everything from seed to sale, meaning they have to grow, process, transport, and dispense the drug.
You can't have a license to do just dispensary. You can't have a license just to be a cultivator. You have to have the capacity to do all components that are plant touching.
Range says the industry is locking out a community that has been devastated by marijuana before it was legalized.
This industry is being built off of black and brown bodies who have gone to jail for this when it was, illegal. When I think about the number of people who, again, remain in prison for simple possession of marijuana, when I think about the communities that have been absolutely destroyed because of the war on drugs, and not just people going to jail, but people being denied housing, people being denied employment, it is absolutely a mockery. And we have to do better.
Farmers like Stevens says more doors need to be opened to level the playing field.
Give me a chance to play. Don't let me sit on the sideline and watch you play.
Kim Nguyen, NBC6 News.
Well, finding an affordable home these days can be tough, and not just here in South Florida. The median price for existing homes skyrocketed in June, hitting an all-time high of more than $363,000, up 23% from last year. Existing home sales are up too after 4 straight months of declines, and homes are selling quickly across the board. In June, nearly 90% scooped up within a month. Now, those high prices are sending some first-time home buyers to smaller markets, but home prices are up all over.
Yeah, this is the unique thing about today's market compared to a few years ago. It used to be just coastal cities. Those expensive tech hubs like San Francisco and Seattle were really the hot markets. We're seeing it everywhere now.
Well, experts say that there could be some relief towards the end of the year. Lumber prices are falling. New homes are being built, and those existing home sales are increasing inventory.
NBC6 First Alert Weather, certified most accurate 8 years in a row.
Well, it took until just a little while ago for the rain to end within the metro area here in South Florida. We had a couple of showers. There they go, quickly moving southbound across southern Miami-Dade County. So those are gone, and we're done with the rain in the metro. But there are some showers and even thunderstorms in the Florida Keys right now. Near Key Largo, you've got some rain going on there. And for the lower Florida Keys, quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity sliding from north to south through that area at this hour. Now listen, our rain chances are very high as we head into this weekend. Let me show you why. This elongated area of cloudiness, that's a front. Okay, and to have a front reach this far south to where the tail end of it actually touches Florida at this time of the year is certainly very unusual. Now, not so unusual is to have along an old frontal boundary low pressure try to form, and this is what's happening here. This area located east of Florida is potentially, according to the National Hurricane Center, a tropical depression in the making. They've got a medium chance that this could become one over the next few days. Where would it go? More than likely towards Florida, but central Florida is probably the main target for that system. Bottom line for us, we've got a stormy stretch ahead in terms of showers and thunderstorms that could produce some heavy rain. And for this weekend, there is a risk that we'll get 1 to 3 inches of accumulation of rain, mostly during the afternoons. I'd say the flooding concern is a little bit enhanced, but not necessarily too terribly high. Our ground is saturated, though, and there could be some pockets, there could be some neighborhoods where you might see some flooding going on this weekend when we do get 1 to 3 inches of rain from this low. And there is what I'm forecasting for it to do. Along the front, as the front dies off, the low pressure kind of detaches from there, and by Sunday afternoon, it's over the state of Florida and then heading on into the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, southern Florida continues to see waves of rain Saturday into Sunday. So let's take a look at that forecast now. This is your future tracker looking at the day tomorrow. Morning showers mostly along the Florida Keys, and then in the afternoon, look how the thunderstorms become numerous around the metro area. So my rain chance tomorrow in the forecast is 80%. For now, partial clearing during the overnight and a low temperature down to 77 degrees. In the coastal waters, the winds tomorrow will be light, southwest 5 to 10 knots, and the seas less than 2 feet. I told you we're expecting a 80% chance of rain on your Saturday, 70% on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, still at 60%, actually even Wednesday. So this is going to be a busy stretch. We're going to get many rain showers and some thunderstorms, and this, of course, could very well impact your weekend. Jawan.
All right, John, thank you. Well, a billboard in busy Times Square stirring up controversy. The poster plugs a weight loss program, but is it motivational or does it promote body shaming? Welcome back. Haiti said goodbye today to President Jovenel Moise, but tensions in the country remain high following his assassination.
Están disparando.
You can hear the gunshots as journalists drove away from today's funeral in the northern city of Cap-Haïtien. The gunfire and protests in the area prompted the U.S. delegation and other dignitaries to leave the services early. It's been more than 2 weeks since gunmen shot and killed the president in Port-au-Prince. More than 20 people have been arrested. Well, a billboard in Times Square is dishing up some controversy tonight. A billboard shows a woman holding her head in her hands, along with the question, feeling fat and lazy? Well, critics are calling it fat-phobic. The woman behind the billboard is an online wellness coach promoting her business. She says that her weight loss program focuses on the mind first and body second.
I used those words specifically because when I interviewed hundreds and hundreds of women last year and specifically asked them without prompting, what are the names that you privately call yourself? Fat and lazy by far were the most common.
Well, it cost $13,000 to have the billboard up for 4 weeks. It's set to be taken down in the coming days. Well, Venmo is changing its look. The mobile payment app is ditching the fee that shows users payments to everyone. It's been a privacy concern for years now. Users will now only see payments between friends when they open up the app.
Coming up next in sports, the Miami Marlins back in action at Lone Depot Park, and the NHL draft kicks off tonight. The Florida Panthers front office, well, they had quite the setup as they selected their newest Ice Cat. We'll tell you all about it coming up right after the break. Welcome back, South Florida. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm NBC6 sports anchor Ruthie Polinsky. The Miami Marlins back in action at Lone Depot Park tonight, looking to bounce back against the Padres. Zach Thompson getting the start for the Fish, and that start wasn't so hot. Top of the first, Tommy Pham with a shot deep to right. That one is gone, and it is 1-0. Marlins trailed 3-0 in the bottom of the second inning until Adam Duvall cuts into that deficit, a home run to center field, and it's 3-1. It's 3-2 in the top of the 8th when Will Myers grounds out and a couple of errors, and the Padres add another pair of runs. Marlins drop their second straight game to the Padres. The final score tonight, 5-2. The NHL draft kicked off tonight, and the Panthers may have picked at the end of the first round, but their draft setup was at the top. Yes, this is a yacht, as General Manager Bill Zito and his team arrived in style to the Lauderdale Yacht Club. The Panthers hosting a VIP party so guests were able to watch the draft in style. But who did the Panthers pick?
The Florida Panthers are proud to select from the Chicago Steel of the USHL, Mackie Samoskevich.
Mackie Samoskevich is a Florida Panthers. The Panthers drafting the University of Michigan commit with the 24th pick. The forward has been with the Chicago Steel of the USHL since 2019. With training camp just days away, the Miami Dolphins added former Seattle linebacker and special teamer Shaquem Griffin, signing him to a one-year contract today. Shaquem's hand was amputated when he was just 4 years old. Years later, he and his twin were recognized for their incredible story while playing at UCF. After 3 seasons with the Seahawks, Shaquem is now a Dolphin. That is going to do it for sports tonight. I'm Ruthie Polinsky. More news is next. We'll be right back.
Take a look. The sea turtle is off to the races. Her name is Lucky Pulse, and she returned to the wild today in Marathon as part of the 14th annual Tour de Turtles. She was treated after being found entangled in a fishing trap line and covered in tumors. She will now be monitored and tracked in the wild for 3 months. We wish her nothing but the best. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. The Tonight Show is next. Have a great weekend. Good night.